Welcome back to NTV News First Edition. So we've all had the occasional unkind or unwanted response to something we may have shared online. Often it's a one-off, a misunderstanding or a miscommunication or of our tone or sarcasm that was misunderstood. But in other cases, it can involve repeated and ongoing negative commentary, and that can become harassment and cause many of us to feel unsafe online. Well, here to discuss the online trolls is Dr. Janine Hubbard in this week's Get Psyched. So thank you for bringing up this topic. I was pretty intrigued today when you mentioned this. I thought this is a great idea. But first off, what is a troll for everyone watching who may not be quite sure?
Sure, and it's really important to remember that a troll, for our common language use, is someone who interrupts into an online conversation or posts comments that are deliberately designed to upset others, to stir the pot, to create some kind of emotional reaction. Their goal is not actually to contribute to the conversation. They're looking to get people riled up and reacting to them.
It works, though.
It sure does. And that's one of the things that we've seen. And it's interesting because, again, everybody has the odd misunderstood comment or, really wants to keep chiming in to make sure people have understood their point. In this case, though, there's actually a personality profile that they found, because there are some people who will say, my favorite thing to do is to stir up trouble on online forums and discussion groups. And so we know it's much higher rates in men. Things like loneliness and isolation, and also the anonymity that can come with online, can certainly help to present. If you're feeling lonely, you're sometimes frustrated, that frustration can turn into aggression, and it can be targeted at particular individuals. We know that there are some personality traits, things like narcissism, even things like sadism, where you really want to demonstrate your superiority, you want to demonstrate, and you get incredibly hurt and upset and defensive if somebody perhaps contradicts you. So we see some of these characteristics, and it's interesting because they're ones that you might not see in person with an individual, but boy, does it come out strongly online.
So what do we do about it? We've written something, we think, oh, I had a fun holiday and whatever, and then somebody comes at us for no reason at all. So what do we do?
Don't feed the trolls. This is our big take-home message from tonight, and that's easier said than done. But again, if you think about there, you can tell the difference very quickly between someone who is deliberately wanting to, contribute to the conversation. Maybe they're a little rude in how they do it, but they're wanting to engage, inform themselves or others, versus people who are just looking to cause trouble, who are just looking to stir things up. So the more you can ignore, the better. I know sometimes the temptation is to either respond and feed into it. Don't do that. Sometimes it's to block. Again, remember, blocking still provides a certain degree of satisfaction because they're like, ha, I got to them. That being said, if you are ever feeling unsafe, if it's feeling really unhealthy, first of all, screen cap and capture as much of and document it as much as you can, because there may be places that you can report harassment to, but you need to keep yourself safe. So if you need to block, if you need to mute, whatever it is you need to do, and taking a big breath and trying to, as best you can visualize whatever kind of hideous troll you want and try to go, it's not me. If I don't react, and if other people also kind of shut them down, we're not going to interact with it. It's not me personally, even though sometimes those comments really do hurt. And feel very personal. So you imagine your ugliest, most disgusting troll and just keep projecting it onto those comments.
Do we have an idea of the age group? Because what we're talking about here is not online, I don't want to say bullying, but it's not online harassment of young people. This is like grown-ups, adults.
Far more common. It is in middle age group. It is often, there's a reason why a lot of the media news sites needed to take down commenting, because what you would think is a well-educated, intelligent thoughtful audience, that's where some of the worst of the comments have come from. So also, again, good reminder though, have a conversation with your kids, especially if maybe they're posting things on YouTube or wherever, that being really mindful about what those comments look like and setting up some safe parameters.
All right, Dr. Janine Hubbard, thank you so much for this.
Anytime. Often.
It's Thursday, February 29th. I'm Tony Marie Wiseman. This is NTV